Welcome to the Pop Culture Cosmos.
And we're back with another episode of the Pop Culture Cosmos. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here for the Pop Culture Cosmos. Game Source, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, Lakers latest, Lakers fast break, State of Pro Wrestling. It's Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for joining us. Happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. Truly appreciate you doing so. If you are here, please go ahead and you like what you see, like, subscribe, make sure you hit all those notifications. Plus, also, as well, of course, don't forget that 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. But it wouldn't be a Pop Culture Cosmos on Star Wars Day without a good friend indeed. It is, of course, my compadre in crime for so many episodes, 505 now to be exact. It is, of course, the man behind Humanity Media, Plucky Gamer. So much more. You got to go ahead and check out what he's doing today as far as he's doing there and Humanity Media and all those great things, including all the shows that he does and all the things that he does out there in the world of pop culture. It is my good friend. It is Josh the Great Peterson. What's up, man?
What's up, man? How's it going? What's good?
May the 4th be with you, my friend, because it is Star Wars Day when we're recording this. So I got my Grogu
Ooh.
hat on, my Rogue One t-shirt. So I'm
Now,
rocking it today.
if only they can make something good in Star Wars, then we'd really have a good Star Wars Day.
Sweet indeed. And I'll be recording with TJ here, it looks like, here in just a little bit after our show today, because he's stuck at the airport.
Oh,
Plenty of
fun.
time to record right there. Looking forard to our conversation there. But
You gotta get them in on this, man. You gotta get them in on this thing one day.
we will. Still, our goal is to get everything together here, indeed. So, for a kind of like a gathering, yes, definitely, I would want to do that deep. But just great to have you here, Josh, my friend. You and I will be talking about Star Wars here in a little bit. I think some unfair expectations, and I'll explain about that a little earlier because this was the major story Thursday and Thursday or Friday when it hit. I forget which day it was, but want to talk to you about Star Wars Mandalorian and Grogu on Star Wars Day. Want to talk to you about that. Also, this is the beginning of a great month of video games. I want to hear Josh's opinion if this is the best month so far. Although we had a pretty good April. In fact, that we had that killer week in April where there's like 4 games that came out in that week. So let's see if this month is going to do a little bit better. Then we'll talk about that coming up in a bit as well. Another Resident Evil. Josh is going to talk about that because he's our RE guy coming up about if Josh Kreger's, coming off the fantastic run with weapons that he directed and created, is going to go and do what he needs to do with Resident Evil. We'll also talk about as far as GameStop bidding on eBay, and Josh has some personal experience in all this. I do as well, I guess you could say, because I've bought and sold things on eBay. So I guess you can go ahead and say that. Plus, also an MCU review as well. But my friend, it starts off with the lead off. Devil Wears Prada. Yes, the Devil Wears Prada 2 at the box office. It took the lead, my friend. It took that first week in May, that first weekend in May kickoff as far as it's concerned. Your thoughts on the huge numbers for Devil Wears Prada? It's interesting, my friend, because domestically, it did right around expectations, around $77 million here, but it was the international number that I think a lot of people are looking at, where it got about $234 million. To give you an idea, compared to last weekend, Michael did more domestically and did slightly less as a whole worldwide. Your thoughts on the incredible run for Devil Wears Prada 2, especially the fact that it's almost, I guess, well, by next week, it'll outgross the entire entire box office for the original one.
You know what's funny is that like this is a movie I've never watched before, right? Like I've been in the midst of people like talking about like what a classic movie it is and how it leaves its mark on pop culture. And I always said to myself, I'm like, cool. I just don't know if I'll ever have a reason to watch it. You know, like I don't. It's I don't watch a lot of movies these days, but I mean, even when I was watching a lot of movies, like it just wasn't on my radar, you know. But now that it's back in there's this new one in theaters. Like I might, you know, me and my wife have been going back and watching a lot of the movies that like I didn't watch. You know, most of them are like as you call them, like romantic comedies or and things along that line. But I maybe I'll have to check this one out finally. Have you seen it?
Parts of it, I haven't been able to get all the way through it. That I mean, if you're watching it, you're watching it for Meryl Streep because she dominates the film in the first one. But I have not been able to get my way through it. I found it okay at best, but it just wasn't my type of film. I should say, and just I'll like you, I'll probably have to go ahead and finish it, but it has endeared itself to an audience, and it has grown in stature since its original release. And in seeing that, I think that that bodes well for the huge success of the film. Because again, this was a film you don't normally start the summer box office with this type of film,
Yeah.
but they, they were very confident in this film performing the way it was and the way it did. And you know what? More credit to them. And they've done a great job with the folks behind Devil Wears Prada 2. And I am looking forward to seeing if they're going to go, well, this pretty much ensures a Devil Wears Prada 3, everything comes out. But I'm assuming it's going to take many, many, many less years between 2 and 3.
Yeah, you know, I think we need to like have an entire topic dedicated to this one day, but like the I for lack of a better word, the like basically whoring of these properties, right? Like what it did well, let's just milk it until people hate it. You know, that's what's happening with Star Wars right now. Like just let it be. You know, if it made a lot of money, let people just like think fondly of something without having to like keep making more movies until they destroy it. Now it's different if they actually have a good idea. You know, if it's a good idea and it can get executed as a good movie, then sure. But like making something just for the sake of making it, like when are we going to move past that behavior?
Well, it is a 20th Century Fox slash Disney film, so I think you and I both know what Disney will do with it, my friend. Let's just not kid anyone here. But it,
No.
but remember, it is 19, no, 20 years, 20 years since the original. The original came out in 2006. So
Yeah.
again, I, I didn't know this would actually, when we first announced it, I didn't know there was a audience clamoring for an extension of this film so much, but seeing in the recent weeks the expectations and the numbers rise, and the fact that it is on that first week of May, since Marvel has not been consistently there in recent years. The
Yeah.
Fall Guy didn't actually do as well as hoped, but and Thunderbolts didn't do as well as hoped. But this one met expectations domestically, but it's that worldwide number which intrigues me because again, that means the original spoke to a lot of people around the world. And that's always interesting for me to see that a movie which you would not say on the top of surface would be one of your picks that you would say, hey, I think this movie would be great to go ahead as a sequel, to go ahead and reach out to a large, vast audience. This would not be on my list originally. And you know what? I'm glad. I'm glad it's proven a lot of people wrong. I'm glad it's proven me wrong. I'm glad it's proven a lot of people that it can be a success. You don't have to have a Marvel movie front the summer box office season.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before, right? Disney's got a very diverse portfolio, and I think they need to start like using some of that instead of just relying strictly on a few different properties.
No, I agree, and I'm just again, all credit to the cast, all credit to the producers and Disney for greenlighting this because it's something obviously a lot of people wanted to see it. It's a yes, it is a fantastical or I guess dramatized or in some fashion, I guess, light version of the world that surrounds modeling, the fashion industry and whatnot. But still, it is a movie that a lot of people wanted to go ahead and see and will enjoy. The thing is, will it have the legs of what we're seeing with Michael? Because Michael only dropped 44% domestically and a similar number worldwide, and it is looking like it's going to be a pretty large hit. I don't know if it'll reach the status of 900 million dollar movie like the Super Mario Galaxy movie, but it will look like it is looking right now with the 424 million dollars at the box office. I think TJ picked it on one grouping, and I think I picked it on the other. I think that it will probably reach at least $700 million. Your thoughts on Michael's continued success? It did not have a steep first week drop as far as that's concerned. You always worry about that first weekend drop, but 44% is a really good hold for a big box office success like Michael.
Right now it's in the top 5, and I was talking to Big Dog and my brother about this. I was saying like it's weird that we are in May and we have yet to have a movie cross $1 billion. Mario's getting close, but it's just
It won't make it though. It won't make it.
no, it'll stop just short. But like it is weird, right, to be this far into the year and not have a movie that's at least like on the threshold of $1 billion. It's we're still it just goes to show we're still sort of in recovery mode from COVID, even after like what, it's been 6 years now since COVID happened. But yeah, I mean,
This is
just
a better year though, at this point. Just want to let you know this is a better
yes.
year at this point than this time last year, just to let you know.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But yeah, I mean, I think Michael's in the top 5. Just the fact that it's May and it's sitting in the top 5 movies of the year, like I think that speaks volumes about the movie. I mean, I don't honestly like, just because of what it is, being a biopic. I don't foresee it like maybe it'll cross 500 million, which is still pretty impressive. But
Oh, it's already going to. It'll be done by 500 million next week. It's looking like it's going to be in the 700-800 million range.
yeah. So I mean, it's just the fact that it's gotten to where it has is immensely impressive in itself.
Absolutely. So we'll see what continues to happen with both Michael and also as well Devil Wears Prada 2 at the box office. Super Mario Galaxy movie that right now slowing down $12 million at the box office. It could reach $1 billion because it's at 894. Kind of
I
iffy
don't
on it.
I
It
don't know if
could.
it's gonna make it, man. I don't know if it's gonna make it because we're look. I mean, look, the next school is out in 3 weeks. All right, what? I don't know. I gotta look at what releases in the next few weeks.
Well, Mandalorian and Grogu, Mortal Kombat 2. So that's
So
probably for the next 3 weeks. Mortal Kombat 2 is the big one next week. After that, you're talking about not. I know Mobile Suit Gundam is the one that you want to go to on the 15th, but
yeah, I don't foresee that like being a massive box office smash. Because remember, Gundam GQuX came out. I think it only did
yeah.
about 15 million. So I'm not expecting that to be like a big, um, big hit.
Mandalorian and Grogu on the 22nd for Memorial Day weekend, and then also as well on the 29th. I think the one that you called correctly that I was almost ready to put on my list as well. Backrooms is at the end of the month, so that
Yeah,
could be
that's
that one movie that could really surprise. But I think with Mario Galaxy, it probably will do around 960, 970, but you never know. There's a possibility it could sneak over a billion, but we'll
yeah.
definitely have to wait and see on that one.
I'm just looking at it in terms of like what occasions are there for kids to go out to the movie still with like their parents and friends and stuff before summer gets here, and there isn't one. So I mean, and if
Yeah.
take into account like they have all the end of the year activities, finals, and things like that for kids, I don't foresee this having like another like big jump, from where it's at now to the $1 billion mark.
I do also want to mention as well some other notes in the box office for this past weekend. Project Hail Mary is reaching about it was at 638 million. I probably want to say it has another 30 million in it. I don't think it'll reach 700 million, but that's still a big success. It's the biggest movie ever for Amazon as far as a release from Amazon Films, that
Y-
part of it. So that's
You
their
know,
biggest release by far.
yeah.
So credit to them. That movie has held strong and held well for the past couple months. Now that it's been in release for 45 days. Hokum, which is the Adam Scott horror movie, that has a low budget horror movie that started out with $6 million. So the expectation for that one are not high. So it really has a low threshold for trying to make back its box office as far as the concern, as far as the money involved. But I wanted to go ahead and little note for Animal Farm. Did you even know the animated version of Animal Farm came out this past weekend, my friend?
No, I did not. I knew that they were making one. I saw the trailer for it somewhere, but
Hmm.
that's another problem we go back to all the time, right? Is there's not like a wide array of marketing happening with these movies anymore.
And that's with that one. It looks like it has failed at the box office. Only $3 million in over 2,000 theaters here domestically, and it's not the way you want to start off. But Andy Serkis directed the film. Seth Rogen lead voice in the film, and yeah,
Let
it
me
just
ask you a
tanked.
question.
It just tanked. It's a different version of Animal Farm that I think a lot of people were expecting the Animal Farm, the book to go. It deviates heavily from the book, and I think that's where its undoing came in.
Okay, so let me ask you a question then.
Hmm.
So look at because I wanted to ask you about Hoppers, right? Hoppers.
Hmm.
Would you look at Hoppers and consider that a success or failure?
I would not consider it a failure. It's not a hit, but it is their biggest original IP in years since Coco.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be what? Let me go ahead now. Let me go down to see because it got just out of the top 10. It fell out of the top 10 finally. It got 350 million roughly, I think, on that as far as that's concerned. So I'm I'm gonna say it's a mild success. How about that? How about that?
Okay. Because so on paper, in concept, Hoppers seems like a really funny movie, and just judging by the trailers, it seems like a funny movie. But again, how are people finding out that any of these, like especially the animated movies, are coming out? Because look at, I'll bet somebody in an executive room probably looked at or in a studio executive room probably looked at the concept of the pout pout fish, right? And they're like, this is based on a international children's best selling picture book. This is gold right here. And then you come to find out nobody even knows that the movie came out. Like there's no trailer, that you don't see trailers anywhere, you don't see billboards or advertising. So how does anybody know that any of these animated films have even come out?
It's a good point. A very good point because I didn't know until about Thursday or Wednesday that it was coming out this past weekend. I knew, like you, I had seen the trailers, and as far as when it was coming out, I mean that it was coming out, that it was in existence, but I did not know exactly what weekend it hit, and to hit with very little fanfare like this, and the reviews for it are really bad for this film. Yeah, I don't this was just a waste of time, and problem is these films like these, they cost money, my friend. They're not exactly cheaply made as far as that's concerned for animated film, plus also the voice talent involved. They're not cheap by the hour, my friend.
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah, especially, I imagine someone like Seth Rogen's probably not cheap to hire.
No, no, not cheap to hire at all. So yeah, and this will look like a bomb for Angel Studios. Again, how much it will be a bomb, we'll have to wait and see. But it is not a good start for Animal Farm, but it is a great start, absolute great start for the Devil Wears Prada 2. If you've gone to seen it, or if you want to go ahead and see it, tell us why. Tell us what intrigues you, because again, it's 20 years since the original, which I think is intriguing. That so much is now, as far as this movie has changed in within the realm of what people see. And this film could have easily been a film that said, okay, well, this is something that relates back to a film from 20 years ago. Maybe we should just put this on Disney Plus, or maybe we should just put this here, or maybe not bring this out as a wide release, not bring this out as a first weekend of the summer movie box office release. But somebody at 20th Century Fox, somebody at Disney knew that there was enough good vibes for this film in order to do so. So what are your thoughts? Please let us know. Because they get the kudos. They're getting their lunch paid by somebody at Disney, that's for sure. But who is out there that really went to go ahead and see it, or really is interested in Devil Wears Prada 2? Because we want to know. We want to know who are the people out there that really went to go see this film and support this film, because we want to hear from you. Please let us know as far as the box office or anything going on with the box office at, of course, popculturecosmos at yahoo.com. But before we hit the half-hour break, my friend, I wanted to go ahead and, speaking of box office expectations, and also May the 4th, Baby Grogu right here, Baby Yoda, Baby Grogu. There's a little movie. We just talked about it just a second ago, Josh, and we mentioned that later this month during Memorial Day weekend, Mandalorian Grogu is coming out. And there were stories all over the entertainment sites on Thursday and Friday that the movie is expected to be the worst Star Wars movie opening ever, because that it won't even beat Solo's opening numbers, because the expectations are, I think, similar to what Devil Wears Prada 2 is doing now. About 77, 80 million domestically, about 200 million-ish worldwide to start off with, my friend. And I don't think that's fair. I understand the Star Wars, the name on the front of it, but I have to look at it, and I think people should look at it from this aspect. It's not a IP that was, or this is not a series of this is not a film that bases itself very much from the films. I mean, it has ties to it. It's part of still the Skywalker. It's loosely part of the Skywalker saga and whatnot, but you associate it more with a TV show, a show that you've watched on television, on streaming aspect of it. And to me, I would relate it more to something like that, like when the as far as the Game of Thrones, when the Game of Thrones movie comes out, Josh, that's a TV series with a motion picture movie graduating to a motion picture movie. This to me feels like, and should be rated as, a television show graduating into a movie. And we've seen television shows that have graduated into a movie. Some have worked out, some have not. But your thoughts, my friend, on this? Because again, it just, I don't, I mean, they're trying to, the big news and the big, the headlines, like the gotcha caption was because this will be the worst debuting Star Wars movie. I just don't think that's entirely fair. I don't want to say it's totally fair, but I don't unfair. I just want to say it's somewhat an unfair comparison.
Yeah. Okay. So you have to go back to that comment, that Kathleen Kennedy made after what Rian Johnson's movie came out, where she's talking about how the Star Wars fandom has become so like toxic, and you have to you look at something like Grogu, and the Mandalorian was you can't deny that was a hit. Like, people loved the Mandalorian show, at least the first couple seasons. But the movie, like what you said, could work in its favor, or it could not, right? The fact that it is loosely based on the wider Star Wars universe and based on a show. Um, the big question here is this going to deter people from going to see it, right? Because you can't you already have that fact, right? That you can't please Star Wars fans. Like we've learned that time and time again. And maybe the community is toxic. Maybe it's a same thing we have with like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. It's just a purist culture, right? But with Grogu and the Mandalorian, like are people going to not go see it because they didn't watch the show, or is it going to be one of those things where people are already like seeing the hype and there's already Star Wars already has a bad track record because they haven't, I mean, they haven't put a film out since the last time a film didn't do well for them, so like, or at least like critically. So they have a lot working against them, and I think that's why people are saying these things. But also, like, the movie looks fun, so I don't, it's hard to say what is going to happen here, just because there's so many elements at play. It's not like the Devil Wears Prada 2, where it's like, oh yeah, the first movie was good, so I'll go see the next one. This one has so many little like spider webs like stuck to it that it's going to have to break free from in order to do well. So like, I'm, for one, I will say that this is probably going to be the most fascinating movie released this year because we really have no idea what's going to happen with it.
I agree, but I just don't. I think it should be measured of success of what a movie does in today's
Yeah.
world.
If it entertains, I think that's like if this looks like a popcorn flick, and I think yes, it, as long as it does what it needs to do, it shouldn't be judged on the sins of the past, I guess.
Yeah, and I understand it's still a 150 $200 million budget film. I get that. I understand that, Josh, but we should rate it against 150 $200 million films today, and it shouldn't be based off of what star, because those canonic films, including Solo, those are films based in the film lore. And I understand there are loose ties to this, and it has the Star Wars name, so I understand that there are those expectations, Josh. I get it, I understand that, but you know that the early prognostications has this movie right around $80 million, and about I'd say $180 million worldwide is what they're projecting right now, and that was what was said. uh, that is pretty good for any movie right now in today's climate. But the catchphrase and what was pointed out by the press, because as you and I both know as journalists, it's not always about what's contained within the words that you wrote. It's contained what the editor or whoever wrote that caption, that title, that gets people to go ahead and click on there. So
Oh, for
that's
sure.
what is most important right there. That's what traveled around, is the fact that it's the lowest projected start for any Star Wars film. And it just and they know what they're doing when they do it. It puts undue pressure, and it puts undue unfavorability. It now gets some people that might be on the fence saying, maybe I don't want to see it because it's going to bomb at the box office.
Yeah, I mean, we've had this conversation before, right? The power of the critics and the media to kind of completely derail a movie before it even comes out. But also, like, look at, I think I was talking to Brank about this a while back. Like, look at how negative IGN has gotten towards literally everything, and
Oh
this
man,
is
their review of Mouse PI has been
yeah.
roasted by everyone on that.
Yeah, so you have this new band of journal, I guess I use that term loosely because there's no such thing as journalism anymore, man. Like it pains me to say it, but like you have this new band of like journalists coming up, and like this is the environment they're all raised in, though. Is like, how can I be controversial? And this is the result of something like that.
Absolutely. So yeah, I'm going to give it different expectations. I'm saying I'm going to give it myself, Josh, expectations of a streaming or TV show that has graduated into a film.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to base it off of. Other TV shows that have become a film. as opposed to looking at as far as the rest of the Star Wars pantheon as far as films are concerned. That's what I'll base its success and failure off of. Okay, I'm going to compare this to other TV shows that became a film that graduated to that level and how they did at the box office. That's what I'm going to go ahead and do it because that's what I think fairly you should do it for because that's where it's from. Yes, it had an advantage right off the bat by having the Star Wars name attached to it, but still I think that you need to go ahead and judge it based off of what we saw with other TV shows that have moved up into the world of a Hollywood feature.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. So
Yeah. So here's okay. So this is my prediction for it. It's going to cross 300 million for sure. And I think that
well, I think it should cross. I think this movie for it to be profitable it has to hit realistically 5, 6, 700 million.
yeah,
To be honest
yeah,
with you.
yeah. So I mean, I think that it stands a chance. I don't think it's fair to pin this much negativity on a film before it comes out, and I think that this is gonna be one that people will, because people are listening to the critics less and less. So I think that people will go see this movie despite what people are saying about it.
Like you and I said, it looks like it's a fun flick. It's a popcorn flick. I'm going to go see it. It's on my list of movies to see
Yeah.
this year that I'm actually going to go ahead and see. In fact, the movie I'm going to be talking about with TJ on the multiverse, Mortal Kombat 2 is the first movie of the summer I'm actually going to the theaters to see. So we'll see what happens with it, but I am definitely going to go make an effort to go ahead and see it at the theaters, and I'm hoping that a lot of people do. And again, I think it should have a certain number of expectations. Will it reach the status of Rogue One, which was I don't know if, oh sorry, your favorite of mine, The Last Skywalker, was the last $1 billion Star Wars movies. As you and I, just as incredulous as it sounds, as the fact that you and I made that famous commercial along with Marcus de la Garza on that, as far as that's concerned, and your famous words on that, and the fact that you didn't remember seeing it. And it was like only been a year, I think, when we just,
Yeah.
just how bad it was. It still made $1 billion. It's the last Star Wars movie to do so. I just don't think it should meet or have to meet those kind of expectations. I just wish it success, and I hope it's good later on this month when I check it out, Josh.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you'll probably get to see it before I do, so I will trust your opinion on it.
Well, if you have thoughts out there on Star Wars, Mandalorian, and Grogu, as far as are you hyped for it? Are you looking back to get into more Star Wars? And is it going to be a film that will resonate with people out there, despite what is already being said about it as far as the numbers it has to go ahead and keep? So please let us know your thoughts. Pop Culture Cosmos at yahoo.com. And I know I'm perpetuating a lot of stuff that we talk about when it comes to Star Wars, Josh, and I want to hear your final thoughts on this. Again, you and I have said repeatedly that it's best for the Star Wars franchise and the IP if they move to a galaxy far, far away, removed
Mhm.
from the pantheon and removed from the family of the Skywalker saga. I think that ultimately is the best thing for the IP, so that it
Yeah.
can create a new Star Wars for that people that are kids, they're kids right now that can grow up with it. But apparently they still can't get away from it. I'm going to go ahead and see it because it's something I've been watching the show. I've enjoyed the show for most of it. I'd like to go ahead and see it how it plays out.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree, man. Disney absolutely needs to stop marketing to us and more to the generation coming up. But yeah, I mean, that's not to say that, like, with all the turds that they're putting into the out into the galaxy far, far away, that there's not going to be something that shines. So this could very well be a good movie.
We'll see what happens, but if you have thoughts on Star Wars, Mandalorian, and Grogu, let us know. Pop Culture Cosmos at yahoo.com. Well, my friend, there's much more to talk about right here on the Pop Culture Cosmos. It is Josh the Great Peterson along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate it. Big shout out to the radio stations that play our show on a weekly basis and also the multiverse as well. My friend, let's go ahead into the video games because May also is one of the usually biggest months of the year now for video games traditionally. And there's a lot on the plate coming up for this month. Tomorrow, as because we're talking on the 4th, obviously, Dead as Disco and Mixtape seem to be games that have been hyped and talked about for years now. So they're both coming out here on the 5th. Later on in the month, though, there's Directive 8020, which is going to be a horror based game that I think a lot of people are looking at. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle finally hit Switch 2. Great game. So if you have a Switch 2 and have yet to play it, this is a game I think you really got to go ahead and try. But Forza Horizon 6, I think it comes the back half of the month. There's really going to be some stuff that's coming out that I think that you'll like. Josh, Forza Horizon 6, that's a game I know that you're targeting very much when it hits PC, Xbox Series X and S, and Game Pass.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, this could very well be the last game I play before I cancel my Game Pass subscription. So, if this doesn't blow me away, if this experience does not blow me away, it's very possible that I could say goodbye to Game Pass.
Interesting. Even with the price reduction?
Even with the price reduction, because I mean, there's too much instability right now. So like if the summer gaming conference, whenever that happens, because usually they have that announced by now, right? Because it takes place, they usually take place in May, but
No, June. June, because remember E3 used to be E3,
because
isn't E3?
I thought that it was the end of May when these things usually happen. I could be wrong.
No, it's usually early June because it's aligns with what E3 used to be, my friend. So you might see some announcements later this month, but you will see definitely Xbox has already announced that it will be in early June for a presentation then, and in and around Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest type deal, all that stuff that happens like in early June, around the time when we used to have a E3, but it's not E3, which I wish it was E3, but it's still not E3 for Gerald.
Yeah. So I mean, between Forza and I guess I'll wait till the gaming conference happens. But I'm already still, even with the price going down a little bit, I'm still on the fence about it. So I need to be impressed, man.
Yoshi and a Mysterious Book. Yoshi is one of those underrated characters, and the IP has sold well enough to have continuous output because we always talk about Mario, we always talk about Zelda, we always talk about those iconic characters within the confines of Nintendo space as far as reoccurring and different ways to make those characters fresh or those IPs fresh. Yoshi is just goes under the radar, and they bring Yoshi out almost seemingly yearly. It's like not yearly, but it seems like it's yearly, almost like a Call of Duty thing. Like, okay, every annual year you get a Call of Duty and you get a Yoshi, but it's not quite that frequent. But still, Yoshi comes out in a quite frequent basis as far as some way, shape, or form, whether he's in a game or the game's about him. Your thoughts on Yoshi and the Mysterious Book? Will this resonate with Switch 2 buyers?
So, okay, this might make me unpopular, but honestly, I don't think that I'm the only one who thought that. But Yoshi's Crafted World, I think that was the last one that came out.
Mhm.
It it was boring. Like, it was not, I mean, it was fun. There were elements about it that were fun, but like with the length of the game, like it was not exciting. It didn't have the Mario Odyssey excitement or even like Luigi's Mansion excitement, right? You're kind of just doing the same things over and over again. So that's where like I'm gonna play this one, but also like am I gonna finish it? Like, am I gonna bother finishing it? Because it's not, it lacks this specific series of games lacks the excitement of the bigger titles in that franchise. So like I hope that there's something in there that just makes me want to keep playing it.
Absolutely. So we'll see what happens with Yoshi again. Just under the radar. Under the radar. It's one of those continuous series they go back to time and time again. So
Yeah.
let's see how Yoshi and the Mysterious Book does when it comes out May 21st for those folks on Switch 2. And then the rest of the month, well, we're going to go ahead and hit the last one up as far as the really interesting one that I'm probably going to pre-order here, and that's coming up here in a second. But Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, that comes out on the 22nd. A lot of people are starting to talk about this. Lego games, I'm sorry, Lego games have kind of decreased over the last couple of years. They used to be an annual franchise. It used to be an annual franchise. It's not as frequent now. I think the last one was based off of Horizon, if I'm not mistaken. If that's the last game in the Lego saga that I think was happening. Your
Yes.
your thoughts, my friend, on Lego Batman? Of course, Lego Batman has been a successful side series for Lego in the video game realm. Legacy of the Dark Knight, are they going back to the well one time too often, or do you think it'll still be a hit when it comes out?
You know what would really love to see? I mean, to answer your question, like I don't think it's going to be a hit. I think it's going to be like a middle of the road type thing where like you have people who play it just for the sake of playing it. You know, like oh, I enjoyed the other Lego games. I'll check this one out. But I don't think you're going to find anyone like running to the store to buy it. That being said, though, like Lego had on the Wii U. What was that game called? Lego is like Lego City or something where you could
Lego
you
City Undercover, baby.
yeah, yeah. So that was a really fun game. And I think Lego needs to kind of back away from impersonating franchises to making their own content in these game like their own game content
Yeah, but
because
that was a GTA clone. That was a minute
yeah,
GTA
no,
clone.
sorry. Let me backtrack here. Not impersonating games, but I mean like relying on franchises like Batman, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, things like that. And
Oh,
instead
the IPs that they touch on.
yeah, they need to just make their own games. Like they don't do a terrible job making games that relies on their own like ingenuity to make. They should do more of that. Cuz I mean that if you do that, the doors literally are open for, for everything. Like you have look at all these old Lego properties, right? That they have before they started like doing what am I trying to say? Like the franchise like Harry Potter Legos, One Piece Legos, whatever. They used to have their own original like stories within their Lego realms. Like do stuff like that. Like I think it could be amazing.
Absolutely. So we'll see what happens with Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. Again, it's been a very successful side series for them as far as the Lego series of games. So we'll see if it continues. I know a lot of people are pointing out if it's rated really well, then I think it'll probably move. And that's a series, the Lego series that goes and transfers over. I'm surprised it's not coming out on Switch 2 right away, but I have a feeling by the time that I guess holiday season comes around, I think you'll see a Switch 2 version of this as well. But before we move on, my friend, the last game I want to go ahead and touch on is 007 First Light. That's the game
Mhm.
I'm excited for from IO Interactive, the folks behind the Hitman series. I know TJ and I are sold on it. We saw major extended previews for it because outlets, well, we're not the privileged outlet, but I know that maybe I would have taken the trek to LA to go ahead and be able to preview this game. Got to play 3 hours of the game at three different stages, and a lot of the footage was shown as far as the concern across the board from IO Interactive. Your thoughts, my friend? I know this has been called Hitman Uncharted had a baby, but it's 007 First Light. 007, they've tried a lot over the years, many, many years. EA had its chance, its opportunity with many games. Everything or Nothing. They had several games that did okay, and they went back to it. and then later on, there was still like Quantum of Solace and other games like that of itself were in the Daniel Craig era that they tried to go back to, but this is their first real go back into it after some really bad ways to and really bad misses before they stopped doing it. Your thoughts on 007 First Light as a younger James Bond? I'm really excited for this, my friend, and I'm pre-ordering. I was telling TJ that I think I'm going to pre-order this game, and it's the first time I've pre-ordered a game since my famous story that I've told on the air in regards to Uncharted 4,
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
where
Yeah.
where, the, where I went to GameStop, which we'll talk about here in a second here, and I asked the girl, I'd like to go ahead and pre-order this game because remember, pre-ordering used to be such a huge thing back in the day. I remember when I ran game stores, it used to be such a huge thing. So I said I'd like to pre-order Uncharted 4, and she asked me which console.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember you telling me the story. Yeah, that's the one thing too. Like
And you
in
wonder why I'm going to be so incredulous of the fact that they bid on eBay.
yeah, it's funny because that was like you went into GameStop and they were almost like rude with how much they wanted you to pre-order games. It's like when you used to go to Best Buy back in the 2010s, and they would be like, you want a protection plan on that? You need to get a protection plan. This is like this could break, because like that's how Best Buy made their
Well,
money. And
that's how we did it at Game Crazy. We
yeah,
had,
yep, yep.
you needed to have three, for a successful launch, you needed to have 2, 3, 400 pre-orders on
Yeah.
a game, to be quite honest with you, my friend, back in 2007, 2008. And then, of course, you sell the disc warranties and all that, the console warranties on top of that. And yeah, man, I'm not telling you, it was a big part of the world back then, pre-ordering.
Yeah, yeah, that was it was the currency of the realm, man.
But again, your thoughts on 007 First Light? Could this be a reimagining, a start of a series for 007 as a young James Bond enters the world of espionage?
Okay, so let me I'll tell you this. Like I'm more fascinated, I think, right now with like the idea of a young James Bond as opposed to like the old James Bond. So I read a book by shoot, I forget who wrote it, but it was a book about how Bond became Bond, like his college years, moving from college into the double O status. And it was a really, really good book, man. And so like if this game is anything like the story I got in that book, then heck yeah, man, I'm on board for it. I don't know if I'm gonna pre-order it, but I'll definitely sit down and give it a play.
Well, there you go. I'm looking forward to it. I know TJ and I are both excited about it. So it is 007 First Light, and it is coming out later this month on May 27th. So definitely looking forward indeed. And I think that May is going to be a solid month. Again, there's no great 1 week of 3 releases, 4 releases like we saw. It's kind of spread out a little bit better than it was in April. But I'll tell you what, April did a really good number for video games. So, what are your thoughts out there on the month of video games for May? Please let us know out there at popculturecosmos at yahoo.com. But before we get to Resident Evil, another Resident Evil, speaking of GameStop, I cannot believe what I saw last week. I had to take a double look because the rumors started flying late last week as well, in regards to GameStop possibly bidding on eBay. And wouldn't you know, I woke up this morning and GameStop, I believe, has put in a $55 billion bid on buying eBay. This is the company that has closed thousands of stores, thousands, not dozens, not hundreds, thousands of stores. I think at least 1,000, 1,500 stores this decade. Yet has the collateral to make a almost $56 billion bid for eBay, which is 4 times its size, mind you. Just to let you know. This all stems from something you are very familiar with, is in that period of time when GameStop became a viral stock. What are your thoughts on this as far as GameStop making a bid for eBay, nearly $56 billion bid for eBay. That just blows my mind. That just blows me away, Josh.
Okay, so I got a few thoughts on this. All right, so
Because you were related to this.
yes, so I struggle with the way that GameStop does business, right? Especially in terms of like trading cards. So I think eBay, or they're trying to get their hands on eBay because eBay has become the Wild West for both for trading cards and video games, right? Especially like if you have some of these old classic, like the retro games,
But also
especially
there's a new marketplace, the MTG marketplace, correct?
Magic. Are you talking about Magic the Gathering?
Well, no, just what's the marketplace for trading cards
Yeah,
that's
the
specifically
TCGs. Yeah, sorry, that's what I'm talking
TCGs?
about.
Sorry, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
the trading cards. Yeah, and it's the trading card is absolute. It's chaos right now on eBay for trading cards. So GameStop. I was in GameStop the other day. I was talking to the guys that are running the place, and I was asking them like, why? So your Pokemon cards, right? Like you're so far above MSRP. Why do you guys keep raising the prices all the time? And they're raising them to match the market price. So for those of you listening, market price is how much it's going for on the secondary market and not what it is, not MSRP, right? So MSRP is what the what do you call it? The
like price charting in video games, what the value of it is right now, actually.
Yes. Yeah. So outside of the recommended retail price. So and I asked them this, I'm like, well, because GameStop decided that if anybody's gonna profit off of scalping, then they want to be the ones to do it. So they're scalping their own products, which is crazy, right? Because they have this like, especially so there's a Charizard UPC special edition box has like 8 booster packs in it and a Charizard card and or a Choreo card. Retails at about 125 and they're selling it for 275 right now.
But
So
again, it's
just
just a manufacturer suggested price.
exactly. So what concerns me about this is that GameStop's going to get in there and they're going to get their hands on all this in all of these transactions, right? So they're going to probably end up raising the fees, especially on trading cards. They're going to introduce new rules, regulations that are going to add extra fees onto it. So you're going to sell a trading card, say for like $20, and you're only going to make 10 off of it. Like that's my concern with what they're doing. And maybe I could be wrong. Maybe I am. Hopefully I am. But I mean, I think Best Buy is trying to not Best Buy, sorry, GameStop is trying to make themselves king of the trading card world. And I
But the
think
thing
that's
is, though, this all emanates from the fact that this was a company that went into this decade on life support, closing stores. It still closes stores more than it opens them on a
so
yearly
yes.
basis. But a lot of what the capital that they have, because again, eBay is 4 times their size. Let me repeat that to people. eBay is 4 times the size of GameStop. But a lot of this bases itself in the fact that it became a viral meme stock earlier this decade, which you, in essence, were a part.
Yeah, oh for sure. Yeah, man. I bought a ton I went heavy into GameStop stock back when that was all happening. I wish, if I had the power of hindsight, like I would have invested everything into GameStop at that, just a couple weeks before that happened. If I had known, if I had the time traveler, let me go back to the blah 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 World Series and see how much money I can make off of it kind of thing. But yeah, it's yeah, GameStop so I think that GameStop was I don't think they were closing stores because their profitability was fine. Not, I mean, it's not fine, but it wasn't like they weren't tanking. So I think that they were closing stores to make big moves like this. I think that this is all part of their plan because the guy who's running it, Ryan Cohen, right now, he's not a dumb guy. Like he knows what he's doing. So like I think that there's a greater design at play than we are realizing.
Well, it is there. It is definitely a possibility. So let me hear your thoughts out there on, again, just still blows me away. GameStop buying eBay. And let me know what your thoughts are on it because I'm just still just saying those words, just knowing what GameStop was and now what GameStop is now. it's capable of doing. So let me hear your thoughts on GameStop interested in buying a company 4 times its size. And that's also the fact that it will help its marketplace on resale value for games, consoles, and everything as far as, like you said, collectibles as well. It'll obviously help that end as well. So what are your thoughts out there on GameStop buying eBay? Please let us know your thoughts, popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. Josh, it looks like we're going to have to push back the MCU review for next week. Remember, we last let off with Captain America Winter Soldier, so we'll move on next week with more great stuff as far as MCU review, because I really wanted to talk about this because you are the Resident Evil guy among TJ, myself, and you. So your thoughts on this in regards to the fact is it Kreger's as far as the new Resident Evil movie on that, as far as another Resident Evil property, another
Who is
Zach
directing this
Kreger,
one?
Zach Kreger from Weapons.
That's
Zach Kreger's Resident Evil.
Lee Cronin did Weapons.
No, Lee Cronin did not do Weapons. Zach Kreger's did Weapons. Lee Cronin did The Mummy that just came out and did not do well at the box
Oh
office.
no, I'm sorry, I got confused. Lee Cronin did Evil Dead. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry.
Yes, that the Evil Dead revival. But
Yeah,
Zach
yeah.
Kreger did Weapons, and he is now going to. They just released the first trailer for it. It's coming out in September, mid-September, September 18th. Your thoughts on Zach Kreger? Zach Kreger is coming out with Resident Evil. I'm just sorry. I have zero excitement for this because this is like the umpteenth revival. Sony is ringing every single drop. It's great that there's a fresh pair of eyes on this, but and I know there's going to get some heat. I know it's going to get some interest in it because it's Zach Kreger who just came off of Weapons and he wanted to do this, and he's the hot director right now because Weapons was such a surprise hit. But seriously, another Resident Evil? Seriously?
Yeah, you know what's funny is the last reboot was from what I understand.
Wasn't it the Netflix
yeah,
series?
no, there was one after that. Like the Netflix series had I know what you're talking about. Like, yeah, that one was interesting. But there's one that Welcome to Raccoon City, remember? So when Redbox was going out of business, I bought a bunch of discs from them and I bought that movie. I haven't watched it yet. It's been sitting on my shelf for like probably a year
The
and a
last
half.
thing that was made with the Resident Evil name on it was Netflix series like 2 years ago, I want to say.
Resident Evil.
Yeah, I think so. Because
Welcome.
we were talking about it on this show.
So this Welcome to Raccoon City came out in 2021.
Okay.
So when did the
2022 live action series.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Good. Okay. No, but from what I understand, Welcome to Raccoon City was supposed to be like the birth of a brand new like movie franchise. And again, let me repeat myself. From what I understand, it was about 90% video game lore accurate. And so it must have not made any money. And now they're doing this. And you are absolutely right. Like what is this? What is happening? Why do you want this? Like, are we at the point like where we need to have another Resident Evil movie at this point in time? Because I think we're past it being the franchise, like being like the mega blockbuster franchise that they originally wanted the Mia Jovovich movies to be. I think we're far past that. So yeah, why? I mean, unless what could be interesting though, if they base it on one of the later video games, and they rearrange the storyline somehow to do like the more Resident Evil 6 and 7 type things. But yeah, I mean, it what is this movie gonna be?
I don't care. I'm just gonna be honest with you, Josh. I just don't care. You're the Resident Evil guy. I mean, I have some mild interest. I've watched some of the Mila Jovovich movies, but again, it's just Sony just wringing everything dry, my friend.
Yeah, well, the Mia Jovovich movies, they like cut lore out of all the video games. So like they're like, oh, it's the first time we saw Claire Redfield or whoever on screen. Like, oh, cool, but it wasn't. It literally had nothing to do with anything in the video games except the fact that there were zombies. And so I really don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like, this movie, if they go, it depends on what direction they go with it. Like, are they trying to be video game accurate, or are they jumping to lore for like rearranging the lore in the game to have some of the newer stuff take place before the older stuff? I don't know, man. Like, it's really fascinating. Like, I had heard this movie was coming out and I heard they were working on it, but somebody must have faith in this movie doing well if they're willing to greenlight it.
So what are your thoughts out there? Please let us know. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. So for Josh the Great Peterson, this is me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate you doing so. And may the 4th be with you. It's another beautiful day in paradise right here in the Pop Culture Cosmos. We thank you for listening. And here's hoping you have yourself a great, forceful day.
Welcome to the Pop Culture Cosmos.